So, if you clicked on this video, it's probably because you're considering taking up drums, right? Awesome. But are you sure you're making it for the right reasons? Over the years, I've seen a lot of people getting started on the drums, and a lot of them were doing it for the wrong reasons. So, before buying your first kit or even book lessons with your local teacher, take a look at what I believe are the 5 reasons why people should not get started on the drums. Number 1, drums are easier than other instruments. This conviction does exist, and I think it exists because, yeah, at a first glance, drums might look a little primal, brutal, and seem not to require any sort of education of any kind. Now, I think there are some things that could be a little bit more easier on the drums than other instruments, like playing your first beat instead of playing your first chord, which could require a little bit more work, a little more effort. But even with the simplest beat of all, you're actually gonna have to struggle a little bit with your coordination because that's how it works. And even if you were so gifted to be able to play all the basic stuff right away, which would be pretty impressive, you will actually get to a point where you'll struggle with something. That's simply how things go with playing an instrument. But let's even consider the possibility that drums were the actual easiest instrument to play on earth, which again, they're not, and that you were so gifted to be able to play anything right away. I think that the problem here is that you're still doing it for the wrong reasons. Drums, or art in general, is a form of expression. And if you pick something just because of how hard or easy it is, that's not going to last in the long run. Number 2, which is a very common mistake, I decided to play the drums to stay fit. Now, if you're about to get started on the drums, it's probably because, among other reasons, you've seen footage or actual live playing of some of the most amazing drummers going completely bananas on stage with their bands or by themselves. Some drummers actually talk in interviews about how many calories they burn during a 2-hour show or their general body activity and stuff like that. And it is all true. I've been playing some shows where at the end of them I was completely slashed, both mentally and physically. But there are some things that need to be said. First, if you're really starting out, chances are you're not going to be playing a 2-hour show for quite a bit of time, actually. Instead, you're most likely going to focus on more basic stuff like playing your first song from start to finish, and that could require weeks of work. Second, you're also going to focus on coordination, technique, maybe some music theory or reading, and stuff that in general will challenge you a lot more mentally than physically. So, no slashing involved. And third, be aware of the fact that most of the things that you're going to be doing on the drums, at least on the physical education side of things, it's going to be efficiency driven. What that means is that whatever you play on the drums, whatever you learn physically on the drums, will have the final purpose of letting you be able to play the same thing for hours with the least amount of energy loss possible. And this again, because you should not see drumming as a fitness activity. Number 3, to make money. While it's no mystery that music will not get you rich quite easily, there surely are some exceptions to this rule, where people do break the bank thanks to music. Now, I'm sure that you're not so fooled to think that you should start drumming to become rich. But even with the more attainable perspective of starting a normal career with drumming or with any other instrument, the point here is that you're taking away the main purpose of playing an instrument, which is to do it in an uncompromised way. If you really stop and think about the word play, and that's what we do on the drums, the first word that should come to mind in relation to that is fun. But as soon as you put money into the equation, that's gonna kind of mess things up. If you put money into the equation, money is going to dictate the decisions that you make on the instrument, and that is not uncompromised. So don't start with money in mind. Number 4, I want to learn drums because I don't want to read music. First, drums do have notes. They're just a little different. A lot of people do not know that, and that's pretty surprising, right? Now, we don't have time to get into the technicality of notation on the drums, but you should know that it actually exists, and you should know that it's extremely helpful when it comes to learning the instrument. But more than anything, this one, just like point 1, feels like a lazy type vibe of reason why you should learn an instrument. So again, you cannot approach drumming or any area of expertise with a lazy type of vibe. That simply doesn't work. Don't let laziness be your guide. Number 5, I want to learn the drums to steam off. Sure, anyone likes to sit down on a kit and just start playing and find relief by just bashing around. That's totally doable, and there's no problem with it. But if you're thinking something like, my 9 to 5 jobs is stressing me out, I cannot go on with this life and blah, blah, blah. Drums will not do the trick. Why? Because again, before even being able to play any song, learning an instrument will require time and effort to build a number of things that will get you to playing something. But in order to get there, you'll soon face the fact that you will have to educate your body by playing some of the same things over and over again at a very slow tempo. And that does not really sound like steaming off. Instead, it could actually take you in the opposite direction and kind of let you feel more stressed out if you're not prepared to take it. So obviously this video does not want to take people away from learning an instrument. The goal here is to make sure that if you really want to learn an instrument, you're doing it with the right mindset. So thanks for watching. I hope you don't feel discouraged about starting your drumming journey. And if you don't, subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one.